share it online, you know. So while I figure that out, we'll at least have this video. I have my phone here with the questions. I am, you best believe, drinking a coffee, which I rarely do. I just had a migraine this morning. I woke up, stepped out of bed, got a migraine, went back into bed. But now we're here, and it's cozy. But if my headache comes back, I'm going to pause this and come back later. Anyway. Okay, there are 12 questions. I didn't prepare answers to these questions, so we're just gonna see where it will go. I will say before we start that this year for me was pretty big. The theme definitely was first times in a long times, and there was a lot of newness in the year. We'll get into everything, obviously, but if you haven't been around last year, 2023, when I started my channel, I was severely burnt out on sick leave. I have videos about that I'll link. And this year I really got to rebuild my life, while 2023 for me kind of feels gray. This really felt like the spring of my life. I don't know how else to describe it. It was just, I moved 3 times. I started dating again. I started my business. I saw my friends again for the first time in a long time. There were so many things I got to do again. And it was really a year of rediscovering boundaries, running into the wall multiple times, experiencing deep sadness and intense joy, and yeah, it was a lot, so I hope that you're ready. January. How did you start the year? What were your hopes or resolutions? I am definitely a goal setter for the year. They're often pretty practical, or they are just intentions. I do a list of goals and intentions, and I can actually grab my list. In 2024, my goals were to spend less money on useless crap, keeping a budget, maintaining YouTube as my job, find a place to live, work on EP. I did the majority of these things with working on an EP. If you didn't know, I do make music. I have 2 songs released. But this year, music wasn't as much a priority as I back then wanted it to be. In January, on New Year's Day, I moved out of my parents' home where I had lived again for a while for my burnout recovery. I subletted an apartment for the first 3 months of the year, and on New Year's Day I moved. So I started the year incredibly tired, nervous, and excited. It was also when I started dating someone, like, at that exact same time, so I was nervous, tired, and excited. That was the first question. February. What moment or experience of February stood out the most? I think my birthday. That was on February 6th. And, guys, I'm going to talk a lot about the burnout, and I'm so sorry. I really don't want it to be my entire personality, but it was such a pivotal time. And that impacted me this year so much still, so just, I'm sorry if I'm being insufferable, okay? So my birthday, February 6th, in 2023, I was in bed with a migraine. Ironic. And I could not have any visitors. Nicole, my best friend, came to visit the day before, and that was kind of it, so my birthday felt very surreal. I'm someone who loves birthdays. I love my friends' birthdays so much. It's my favorite days of the year. I love my own birthday. I love celebrating friends who live in the city came to visit, so some of my older roommates came, and we just had a party, like a little party, like a very kringverjaardag if you're Dutch, just a couple friends over, and I made cinnamon rolls, and we had a really good time just chatting, catching up, and it wasn't too much for me, which a lot of things were at the time. So it was very fitting to how I was feeling in the moment. And it really stood out to me that month because outside of my birthday, I really don't like February. It's a very grey month for me. It's just the end of the winter. I'm like over it. I'm like, oh, please bring back the flowers from the earth. So it always just feels like a really nice day. And then the next day, this was the evening before my birthday that my friends came over, and then on my birthday, my mom and dad and my brother came to visit. On another day, my grandparents came to visit, which was lovely. I just felt really good and I felt really loved, so that stood out to me. And that month, me and my friends very actively participated in a music quiz in a pub. And we were really good. We came in second, but that was definitely the month that I was committed to that. Those were some February memories. March. What did you accomplish or learn this month? In March, I learned that you should never move house on your own. And don't be so stubborn, and ask your friends for help if they offer, and if they don't offer, you can ask. I moved to a room in March with roommates in the house. That was a very vague description anyway. So in March I was looking for a room and figuring out what I wanted. I remember being stressed. And then at the end of March moving. Honestly, like, I didn't move with furniture because I sublet it twice. So it was just my thing. So it was a bunch of boxes with my filming equipment, my clothes, my toiletries, blah blah blah, music instruments. I just happen to have hobbies that weigh a lot and are very unpractical in moving around. But one of my friends had offered to help me move, but I was like, you know what, I'll get this done in a day. I'll just do it myself. But it wiped me out so bad, and all the stress around moving obviously is a lot. And I could have known this because I'd moved around quite a lot at that point. So I don't know why I was so stubborn about it. Actually do know, but it was, yeah, I feel like I shot myself in the foot with that one a little, because I could have made it a lot easier on myself. But because in 2023, the majority of the time, I couldn't take care of myself anymore, I was almost fully reliant on my parents to, make dinner, do groceries, clean. Like, I could take care of myself in the sense of, like, I could wash myself and stuff, but the other things. And so going to that apartment really felt like, oh, I've got independence. I'm regaining independence. And that made, for me in my brain, made it a lot harder to then ask for help, because I'd felt so reliant on other people's help the last year. And I wanted my independence back so bad that I started feeling like I had to prove something to myself, which I really didn't. But the brain does what the brain does sometimes. But I definitely learned from that. For April, did you experience any turning points or surprises? April, what did I do in April? In April, oh my god, I did. First of all, in April, really enjoyed my time living with roommates again, and living close to the city center, re-exploring, building a connection with my new housemates, things like that. So April overall was very sunny in my world. However, However, it was also a time where I ended things with that person that I was kind of seeing, who is really like entwined throughout my whole year. If you're a Patreon member, you'll have heard some things about it, but I was very fragile when I started dating this year, and I didn't realize that until later. Things happen, it's okay. This person is not a bad person, I do want to say that. There was just a lack of communication, and he could not meet my needs. And in April, we formally said goodbye, but it was really hard. And then later in April, we decided to talk something out. And I remember that was just very confusing. So in April, we kind of ended things and then also reopened things. And I don't want to, that's just all you need to know about April. It was just emotionally very confusing. And yeah, I had a lot to learn, I guess. I personally really do believe in karma, and I feel like this was very much a karmic lesson for me. May, what personal or professional milestone did you hit in May? I am not sure off the top of my head if I hit any milestones in May. I think in May I decided, and I was very much orienting in starting a business and registering my channel as a business. There's this thing you need to do if you want to be self-employed in the Netherlands, where you get registered, the Kamer van Koophandel. And that comes, at a certain cost, but it also brings you things. And so I was really thinking a lot about that in May. And I also went to a little festival again for the first time, and that was definitely a milestone that I was able to do that without getting insanely overstimulated. Generally having the energy to do that. It was such a proving point to myself of how far I've come in my recovery, and I had the best time. 6. June. How did you celebrate or embrace the halfway point of the year? So this is the month that I did start a business. The business that you're looking at right now. I feel the need to say this though, like, it's not that I make a full-time income out of YouTube. I'm just doing this, making an income out of it that is enough to support me and to save up. But I am also still just recovering and taking time for that. So before you assume that I'm making a fuckload of money, like, it's not that crazy, okay? I think I celebrated that by getting cake for me and my friends, my roommates. And just, I don't know, I was outside a lot in June. I was definitely getting more stressed in June, because I knew that I was already moving out of that apartment, or the house with the roommates, in July, so I was looking at places and considering my options. So I don't really feel like I celebrated the midway point of the year in that sense, but it was a bit of a pivotal time. 7. What adventure or fun experience defined your summer? Ooh. I think one experience that defined my summer was the Zomerfeest in Nijmegen, which is, I've talked about this before, but it's called the Walk of the World, where people from all over sign up to walk for at least 30 kilometers for 4 days every day. And around that event is a whole festival in the city. Like, everywhere you turn, there's something to do. There are like 12 stages of music. It's insanity in the best way. The vibes in the city are immaculate. You can really look up what types of music that you like, what type of crowds you want to hang out with. And I missed it last year, of course. And so this year to be back and to live in the city was amazing. I did stay over at a friend's house for a while because being in the city and in the midst of that chaos was a lot. But it was so wonderful to spend time with friends, and I saw so many fun performances. One performance that stood out to me was Go To Gym. If you know, you know. It was just so much fun, and yeah, I had a great time. And spending days at the beach with friends and just really feeling that I'm not required anywhere. Just the total freedom of summer was incredible. I will say at the end of that month, I also moved back home to my parents, which was very hard on me. I'm okay now. That just really took a toll on me at the end of July. August, what did you focus on as summer ended and routine returned? I escaped to Norway. I'd spent a couple weeks at my parents' house, and I really felt the urge to go somewhere, and I hadn't been traveling for years. I was very nervous about my health, but because we were supposed to go on a family trip in December and last year, 2023, and I didn't join because of my health, my parents had said back then that they owed me a plane ticket to Norway. And so I was incredibly grateful they did not have to do that, but they gifted me the plane ticket to Norway. And so I went in August and I did a solo road trip for 12 days, rented a car. I stayed with family friends first, which was a very, very good experience to have somewhere safe to land first and people that know about my health, and just to dip my toes in, kind of. And then I had the loveliest road trip. I met wonderful people, and I loved the country so much, and I can't wait to go back. So instead of celebrating and embracing routine, I just escaped it for a while. That's kind of the nice part, I think, about not having to work in the school structure anymore after graduating. It's very daunting, I find, but once I kind of embrace that sense of freedom within the calendar year, I was like, well, I can actually decide when I want to go on vacation. I don't have to rely on school holidays. September. Did you set any new goals or priorities in the final quarter? Yes, I did. I got very specific about saving money and making a plan to reinvest in the business in YouTube, because I wanted to switch up my gear. I also want to move out, so I really I really took a hard look at that and made some changes, and in doing that I was able to get a new camera that you're looking at me through, and still be able to save money and being on the path to moving out again. 10 October, how did you embrace creativity or change in this month? Well, I think that like the last quarter of the year, with everyone returning to school, uni, work, and me being at my parents' house, freelance working, basically, I decided to really hone in on creating. It's why I posted a lot more, of course, but I really intentionally am figuring out my style, what I want with ASMR, what I want with YouTube generally, what type of content do I want to create, what brings me the most joy, where's my ikigai, kind of, and how can I work towards that and just enjoy where I am. So it's up and down, but I'm overall doing really well in that, and I am overall enjoying it a lot. I just feel that it also makes me nervous, and sometimes I feel like I'm just swimming in the middle of the ocean and I have no sense of direction. But at the same time, I have so much freedom which is an insane privilege, and I want to make use of that privilege. But I also want to make smart decisions because of my health, so I really decided to hone in on this, on what we are doing, and to be intentional about it. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I feel very rambly. Yeah, just figuring out what I want. How do I view ASMR? How do I make the ASMR that I want to make instead of the ASMR that I am used to watching, or that I have always watched, or how I have known ASMR? Where are the boundaries? You don't really, maybe you don't really see that directly in my videos, but it's things like doing more vlogs here and there, adding music in ways. Am I here for the ASMR of it all, or just for me as a person hanging out with you? What do I want to tell? What do I have to share? That type of thing. And I really enjoy thinking about those things. So yeah. So I definitely embraced creativity. Like, I dove headfirst back in, and I'm loving that. 11 November. What were you most grateful for in November? The first thing that comes to mind is you guys. I am always very grateful to have my friends and my family around. I feel like everyone was just kind of doing their own thing the past month with school and work and everything. But just your responses to the videos that I make and what I do, I just felt very consciously, very actively grateful for that last month. So thank you. December, how are you closing the year? What are you celebrating or reflecting on? Okay, I am closing this year. Let me put my phone back. I am closing this year excitedly. I am very ready to leave the year behind. With heartbreak also having been a huge theme in 2024, I would really like to leave it in 2024. That is very much not how emotions and processing things work in my brain, though. I can't leave it in 2024, wake up January 1st and being fine, but symbolically, it does feel good to leave it in this year. I'm definitely a sentimental person, so trying to kind of leave it behind feels really good for me. Next year, I have a couple things that I want to do. Like, I want to move back out. That's my goal for the first quarter of the year. So geographically, I do not know. Is that the word? I don't know where I'll be. I don't know if I'll be back in Nijmegen. I don't know if I'll be in a different city in the country. I don't know if I'll be abroad. I don't know if I'll still be at my parents' because I couldn't make up my damn mind. I have no idea, and that terrifies me. I love structure and I love perspective. And I do best when I have structure and routine and perspective. And right now, I don't really have any of those things. I'm working on it, and that's, like, I'm doing the best I can, and that's all I can do. But for next year, there will be a lot of change. And I'm just going to dive in and see where we will go. I'm excited to travel more, though, with my health getting a lot better. I'm really excited to go abroad. I just want to make sensible choices money-wise as well. That's been a big theme. And just explore what this thing we have going on has to offer. I'm really excited and eager to work and to create, to express myself and explore my creativity more. I've definitely learned from my myself that I am creatively shy, and I always have been, in the sense that if I make something that is very palatable for people, and I know that it is, so singing a song cover or something, I know that people generally are cool with that. Like, they know what it is. I don't have to talk, I can just sing a song that already exists, that's kind of comfortable for me. But when I had made my own music, that was terrifying, of course. Making ASMR was, in that sense, terrifying to share it with people who didn't know what it is. But I feel so much growth in embracing my creative voice and my self-expression, and not having the desire to be liked by everyone anymore. Just all these old things that I have been taught in my childhood and stuff. I've unpacked a lot of things over the past 2 years, and, well, 4 years, longer than that, but I feel like this year creativity was such a big theme, and I hope that creative freedom may be the theme for next year, and to just completely fucking go for it. I think that will be my intention for the next year, to just enjoy and embrace and surrender and explore. A lot of words, but I think that's it's time for me to do those things, because I have spent so many years being anxious, forming myself to what other people thought what I thought other people would like, and how to be more palatable, and to not be too loud. Yeah, I don't know, I could write a whole book about that, but I will like bring it to an end here. I'm just truly excited to feel that creative confidence, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I was a lot more serious than I had anticipated on this feeling, but I feel like the questions were inviting for that as well. I'm really curious to hear what your intention is for the next year, and what is something that you want more of in the next year. I'm really interested in hearing that. I'm sorry if this video was very choppy, but there's a lot of background noise going on. I hope that wasn't too bothersome. Once again, I feel like I'm going to be saying that in every video this month, but it's December, so thank you so much for your support throughout this year. And even if you are new and have just started watching these videos, it means a lot to me, and I'm very glad that you're here. I hope that this is a comfortable, safe space for you within the comment section as well. I love how you guys are treating each other. I hope that you are kind to the people around you and kind to yourself. And I truly hope that you have a magnificent, loving year next year. I'm sending you lots and lots and lots of love, and wishing you a very peaceful time wherever you are. I